right. Let's see. Okay.
I've lost our good angle there.
Oh, I want to see you, not me.
Oh, I guess you're right.
Mine's not showing either of us. They want you. Okay, there. There.
So, how are you doing today?
Okay, pretty good. I've been off for the last month. I had knee surgery, and then some old stuff has come back up with me. So my first, let me tell you. Let's see where to start. My first marriage, my husband would get mad at me if I was sick or out of commission, and I never knew that I was verbally abused until I went through counseling after going through the divorce. And so since I've been off my knee, not able to do things for myself, it's been really hard to get help. And so I feel like I'm a bother. And what happened, like my husband works nights, and so he's very preoccupied with his job right now. And so I try to remember that, but inside I'm struggling because he left for work and like didn't ask me if I needed anything, and I was hooked up to an ice machine, so it's not like I could just walk away.
That must be hard.
It was really hard. It was really, but what surprised me was my self-talk, or the thoughts that right away I went, because I know he loves me, I know he cares about me, I know that, but I went right back to that place, and it's like, why? Why am I so, it's like, right away, it's like, well, nobody really cares. You know, I'm on my own. I'm not supposed to ask for help. I'm supposed to give help. I'm not supposed to need help. And so I was pretty frustrated. I couldn't get my own dinner. So I finagled my way into the kitchen, heated up some soup, brought it over by the chair, sat it down by the chair, got in the chair, got all situated. I was exhausted. And I couldn't reach the soup.
No.
And I just cried.
No.
I just cried. And, you know, so it was really hard. It was my more concern with why my mind went there. So the next day, I told him how I felt, and I don't usually do that. I don't usually do that. But I told him, and he was like just overcompensated. I'm so sorry. I'm a failure. That makes me feel awful.
I understand.
And so I was like, oh, I shouldn't have said anything. This is the self-talk that's going on inside of me. And that, you know, going back being a single mom for so long, everybody depended on me. I've never depended on anybody. And so I felt like I was bothered. And it's like, I don't want to go back there. So it's like, I want to keep from going back there to that spot.
So is it unusual for him to be needed in that way then?
Yes. Yeah.
Did you? So even when you're.
But it's like, and then I was in bed and I called him and he came in, he slammed the TV off, walks in and he goes, what? This was like the second week into it. And I'm like, never mind. I'm just going to ask you to get me an apple. I was like, never mind. And so, yeah, it's been really, I've never needed anybody like that.
Oh, so it sounds like he wasn't as good at being available to you either, though, initially.
Right.
After you confronted him, did that improve?
It did, but then it went back because he's preoccupied. That's another issue that we have, is that he has sleep apnea. And so he doesn't sleep. And so he's very tired. And so, you know, it's hard when someone doesn't sleep. They're not with it. So I try to be understanding, the understanding wife, but yet I was wounded. I was hurting. And I was like, whoa, never thought I'd go back there. And it's been hard because on top of that, my boys didn't call to see how I was doing, things like that. And so you kind of go back to that feeling of I'm not good enough, I don't matter. And so I'm struggling going, no, that's not true, so I'm like arguing in my head. So I want to get to a point where my thoughts don't automatically go back there.
It's good that you recognize that it's a negative thing, that it's not acceptable, that you see an area for change. Have you been able to mention this to your sons?
No. No, they don't hear me. My oldest son is almost 30, and he's 22. And it's all about him and his problems and his whatnot. And my other son is 28, and he's married, and we don't have as good of a relationship as we did. And I don't know if it's a guy thing. He just doesn't think about it or what. But I mean, a couple months can go by. I don't know what's going on in their lives. She never talks to me unless she's my daughter-in-law. Unless they're here, then she'll talk to me. But there's no relationship.
Do you try to reach out to call him? What happens when that happens?
Sometimes, mostly, he doesn't answer. He's a police officer, so I never know what he's working. His shifts change a lot. But then out of the blue, he'll call. And so I'm like, okay, why does it take you so long? But I've just come to accept it, because with boys, it's like when, what do they say? Your daughter's your daughter all of her life. Your son's your son until he gains a wife. And it's so true.
Is it?
So true.
That doesn't make it less painful.
No. But I don't feel like we have a relationship, so I don't really expect that. But my husband, I really expected more. And then the other part of it is his solution to making that to me is bringing me chocolate. Which doesn't help, with the weight issues. But, I just wanted him to be there for me. And it really hurt.
I hear you there. Were you able to approach it again, or was it one time?
One time, and then I just kind of started doing things for myself and re-injured my knee, which I haven't said anything. So, yeah, I was off pain meds, and now I'm having to take them again. I don't know exactly what I did that made it hurt again, but
more active than maybe.
Yeah, started doing housework and, washing dishes, did some laundry.
So it sounds like you went back, not only caring for your own personal things, but went back to caring for the family, which is what the status quo is.
What's expected.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, the first time I got up, actually it was in the kitchen, he says, Can you hand me salsa? I said, seriously? I'm on a walker. You want me to walk all the way over there? No.
That's good that you were able to set that. Did he listen to you? Did he understand?
Really. Yeah, he understood. He just didn't think about it when he was asking me. And so, but the other was just leaving for work. The dogs had no water, things like that. So I had to carry the bucket. Just things like that were, so it was really hard. So I at that time, I texted him, and I told him off. And he called, I'm so sorry, but it happened again. And that's when I just said, it's just the way it is,
It sounds like you're feeling taken for granted. Like the things that you normally do are now taken for granted so much that.
Or no, it's more like I don't matter. I mean, you know, um, it's like when I'm sick or down, it's like I'm an inconvenience to everybody.
Have they been lashed out? You mentioned the one time where he shut the TV off loudly.
Mm-hmm.
Has that been a pattern, or was that
No,
an isolated instance?
yeah, he was frustrated. But, yeah, we're going on, it's been 3 weeks now. So, it's just very frustrating when and we talked about it before I had surgery. Because there's a possibility of having to be off my knee for 6 weeks.
Well, that's a long
if
time.
they drilled holes in my kneecap. But they didn't. So, I didn't have to do that. I said I would have only been halfway through this. If they did, what do you do thinking? I'm supposed to be up, and it's like I don't have things food to eat because nobody prepares anything for me. So I've had lots of protein drinks, and you get kind of sick of them.
I'm sure.
Soup and protein drinks is kind of what I've lived on for 3 weeks, and even the church, they started bringing me meals, and then the person that headed it ended up in the hospital. And so somebody else said, well, you don't really need meals anymore, do you? After the third meal? No, we'll manage.
I see you as a giving person. I'm sure that was difficult to not feel reciprocated at that point.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that happened.
So it's a little frustrating. But what I'm more concerned about is my self-talk. Because before, that what I have worked through is like I went through depression and I was suicidal and just all these things when I was married the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going back there. And when I had not thought of those thoughts in, gosh, we've been married 6 years, so I've never, this is the first time I've been laid up for any length of time too. So it's like.
So it sounds like you had some bells and whistles going off.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is
right away those thoughts. Yeah, right away those thoughts come back and I'm literally arguing with myself in my head. So, so those feelings of not being worthy or not being good enough.
So if you're sitting here out of the moment, you're not in an argument right now, do you feel like your husband and daughter who lives here don't think that you are worthy, or do you think that they don't understand?
No.
You're able to.
It was just those actions that spoke that to me, even though that's what I perceived.
No, I know, and I don't blame you. I would.
Yeah, I knew that wasn't reality, but yet I still responded by crying and being wounded.
No, I don't blame you at all. That would be very.
Yeah. So it's like I knew reality was this, but at the moment, his action was Caitlin's been working, so can't even. She's not home. She started a new job, but yeah, it just threw me for a loop. I was just frustrated, and so in turn, I went back and started trying to do things, and now I hurt myself.
So it sounds like maybe you need to step back physically some more. Are you able to express that you need help?
Yes, but why I don't know.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Do you think that it would be heard?
At the moment? But whether it really sinks in?
So you get help.
Because he's tired.
Dinner right now, but
what
not
can
tomorrow.
He really hear me? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Notice you're completely out of there.
There.
So how do you? My distraction. So what do you think would this sounds like this is a symptom of something maybe longer reaching in your marriage and communicating your needs, because hopefully not, but either one of you could have some kind of medical issue later on. What do you think you could do to make your communication better?
Well, what I do with this marriage is I don't, because before I would just bury it, and I make sure I don't do that.
Well, that's good.
And so I told him the next morning, this is how I felt, and that's when he goes, oh, I'm a failure. And I'm like, and that's when he brought me chocolate. And I'm like, thanks, I love chocolate. That doesn't take care of my hurt.
Yeah.
My feelings. Food doesn't cover up doesn't take care of your feelings. And he'll go, do you need anything? At the most, I'll have breakfast, and then like an hour later, do you need anything? And I'm like, no. And so I think the big thing is when it comes time to getting something to eat in the evening and nobody's home, that nobody thinks ahead of time. And I have said something, and so it's like my feeling is, okay, I went out of my comfort zone, I said something, but it didn't really change. It changed for a day, and then it's right back to where it was.
It sounds like he doesn't understand your needs, but he has put out a little bit of effort.
He tries.
So in the morning when he says, do you need anything, and you don't, if you were to say, what I really would like is if you would make something for dinner later, would that be heard?
Yeah, probably.
Is that something that you could do that would meet your needs?
Yeah, I could try.
Because what I'm hearing is that he's, heard you on the surface level, but maybe not truly understood the needs the way you wish that he did. But he's not rejecting.
No.
Not going where your self-talk is going.
Right. So it's like perceiving versus reality, and it's like, why am I so upset? Why am I sitting here crying?
And so you spent some time thinking about that, it sounds like.
Yeah.
So do you think the bigger issue is figuring out how to work with him and get the help you need, or figuring out how to deal with what you're feeling inside?
Probably dealing with what I'm feeling inside, because I shouldn't be crying. Why am I crying? Like, I really don't understand that. And so I was really, struggling with what I was feeling. And I really think part of it is my daughter's been working 5:30 to 9:30. All of a sudden I'm alone. Part of it. So when I try to get my food, I'm alone. There's no one here to help me.
So
that
they're both at work during that dinner hour. So even if something was prepared ahead of time, what do you think they could do that would make it easier for you?
I don't know. That's where I'm stuck.
It sounds like it's hard to know what to do. The physical action.
Yeah, because I heated up my soup. I guess I could stand up and eat it in the kitchen instead of trying to sit down. And then, pick it up and put it in my lap. So, or that's why I started having protein eggs. Because I could make those. I could carry a cup. But, I don't know.
It sounds like the bigger concern, though, is what's going on inside. Because there are workarounds, maybe a bigger meal at lunchtime when people are around, and a smaller meal then. Those type of things.
Well, I have gastric bypass, so I can't eat.
You always small meals all the time.
So I'm not always hungry, and then all of a sudden I'll be hungry. And, so, yeah, it's kind of hard. It was just that moment that I started crying. And I was like, why am I crying? Did I really go back to that place, And so anyway, I just want to be able to, I guess the real thing is, why do I feel I can't talk about my needs? It's not okay.
So why don't you feel like you can talk about it?
Because it never really mattered what I was thinking.
Do you think it matters now?
To my husband, yeah.
It sounds like it. It sounds like he maybe doesn't respond the way you want
Guy.
him to, but it matters to him still.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're expressing that to me. I don't know him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he's great, but it's just my reaction to the way I perceived it was they don't care about me, but in reality it was just he was in a hurry.
So if this was to happen to you, what do you think you could say to yourself that might help you get through something? Because you may still be in a situation where it's difficult. You're still going through recovery.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder, is it okay just to cry? Is it just okay? Just cry? Get it out? You know, I'm frustrated because I can't do things for myself, and I don't want to ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, maybe I'm getting kind of depressed just being in the house.
Do you have opportunities to get out of the house?
No, not really. I can go get the mail, but then I hurt.
Yeah, I was thinking more like if someone took you for a car ride or something.
Oh, well.
Is that painful or
it's painful? Yeah.
Not ready for that yet.
Mm-mm. So, no, I start physical therapy tomorrow, so hopefully.
I mean, because cabin fever is a real issue for people.
Yeah, so it could be partly that.
You could be onto something there.
Yeah.
Needing to change.
Just alone all the time, you know. So.
What could they do when they're here that would help with those alone times, do you think?
Sit and talk to me instead of just being busy, you know, doing stuff. But, yeah, I don't know. It's like I'm just totally out of everything right now. It's like it's affecting me. So I don't want to do homework. I don't want to do anything. I just don't want to. So now I'm behind in my work, and I'd read and fall asleep.
Well, pain is depressing.
Yeah.
And pain medicines can add to that, so it's kind of a vicious circle.
Yeah. Well, it did help that I got sick on top of everything else. So.
Yeah.
My body was tired, but it really scared me. So maybe it shouldn't scare me. Maybe it's not a big deal that I felt that way. You know, maybe I should just feel what I feel and move on.
Sounds to me like you had some alarms go off that you noticed and then thought through and tried to decide if they were rational or irrational. And what I'm hearing is when you thought it through, you realized that this husband is not like your first husband who was abusive, but he maybe just doesn't have a clue. I don't mean that meanness, but his intentions aren't necessarily bad is what I'm hearing.
Right.
But he is still not meeting that need.
Right.
But it kind of opened a wound that isn't completely as healed as you had hoped from before.
And it's been more than, what, let's see, almost 5 when we split up. So, and she's 21, so it's been a while. It's like, whoa, those wounds are still there? That's crazy.
It's like that shrapnel or whatever that's buried deep and...
Yeah, it just surprised me.
It sounds like you did some positive things, though, to call it what it was. This is not accurate thinking. And to not just decide that that's where you wanted to be. You said you didn't want to be there. You didn't want to be depressed and suicidal.
I want to cry. Yeah, I want to cry. It's like, you know, so it's like, why am I crying? You know, I mean, really, why? Where'd that come from?
Well, crying can be cleansing. It has a place at time. Maybe you needed to grieve the pain from 15
I don't know.
Years ago.
Like, what?
But it's difficult to separate the two situations.
Yeah.
So, what do you think you could do to go forward from here with your recovery?
With my recovery for my knee?
Yeah.
I have to do my exercises and build up strength.
What could you do to to encourage your family and how you need to be supported? It sounds like they are willing, but they don't necessarily know how. Do you think that you could?
I have to ask.
Yeah. Do you think you could do that?
Yeah, maybe. Honestly, it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, but I can try.
It sounds like there's a certain level of willingness. It's not back 15 years ago.
Right.
But that they need guidance.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of used to mom being the one that takes care of everybody else.
Caitlin will call me at 9:30 when she's leaving her job. Do you need anything? No. But thank you.
But it's her expression.
Yeah.
So do you think if you were having one of those moments when you're feeling that they're not caring, you could remind yourself that she might call you at 9:30, that she does care in her way?
Mhm. Yeah. I told you I didn't really know what to talk about.
Oh, yeah. So you're starting physical therapy tomorrow? How are you getting there?
Hopefully they tell me I can drive tomorrow.
It might depend on painkillers, I'm thinking. But.
Yeah, well, I don't take them all the time. Sometimes I just live with it.
So is he having to arrange his schedule to do that?
No, well, if I schedule it in the morning, because he goes in at like 3:30, 4.
So he'll just wait to sleep until after?
Well, he gets home like at 1 or 2.
Oh, I see.
And then
he'll take you as soon as he gets home.
Yeah.
Might that give you an opportunity to talk to him about other ways that he can help you?
Yeah, probably.
Sometimes people are more receptive when it's not the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
So what do you think that he could help? Can you have some ideas what you might say to him tomorrow? If you're just thinking about what your needs are going to be tomorrow. Tomorrow's a holiday, though. You're starting tomorrow?
Yeah, they're,
okay.
I guess they're open. Yeah, tell them that we need to plan dinner better. We need to have stuff cooked.
Mm-hmm. Well, you mentioned he was a little defensive and, oh no, I'm bad, I'm a failure, and I'm thinking that if...
Well, he said, I'm a terrible cook. I don't know how to cook. So...
If it was out of the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
And he had some guidance, it might...
Yeah. Yesterday I made him go get fajitas. So,
how was that?
They weren't as good as when you eat them there. They're sizzling.
Well, I went more like the interaction with him.
Oh! The real food. It was good. He's like he couldn't do enough for me. It's like, give me something I can do and I'll do it.
So maybe he is asking to have more exact... Yeah. What I'm hearing is you would like him to just know.
To just know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
Unfortunately, guys aren't always like that.
I know.
But you think that he's willing if he has a little bit better instruction?
Yeah.
Then, given that guidance, that might speak to your emotional needs.
Mm-hmm. True. Maybe that's why I cried.
But it sounds
my emotional needs weren't met.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a big step for you to step out of your comfort zone and ask.
Mm-hmm. It's hard. I'll just do it myself.
Are you afraid of being rejected?
Yeah. I've just always done everything myself. In the first marriage, I was a single mom even when I was married. And
well, you indicated that you were in trouble for being sick.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah. I get defensive. I don't need help. But then when I did ask for help, it was just things happen that I don't get the help.
Yeah.
And so why should I ask?
Well, and you were met at least once with some anger there that took you right back, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Yeah, and that scared me because I haven't felt that in years. But I haven't been out of it. My gallbladder out. I was out of it for a week. That was about it. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. I'm kind of nervous because they said there's only 50-50 chance of me getting better. So, it's like, is it always going to be like this? Or?
At this point, is the pain still greater than before the surgery?
No, it's better. It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different. It's just the kneecap when I try to straighten it. It hurts. And when I go to stand up, it's not nearly as bad as it was.
Well, that's encouraging.
Yeah.
There's some healing has to take place.
But, so it just makes me nervous. So it probably adds to my anxiety.
I'm sure.
Can't think about that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously nobody wants to be in pain, especially when you're feeling cooped up
Mm-hmm.
and it's keeping you
and I'm used to being on the go. And yeah. So.
You're going to get out tomorrow, and you have school next weekend.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
It's a lot, but it's also going to take you out of the house, which I'm hearing is getting to be a bit depressing.
Yeah. So, just bring my pillow and prop myself up. You know? So, yeah.
Things to look forward to.
Yeah. I don't have to do anything for Thanksgiving.
Well, there you go. So others are taking
my
care of it?
My son.
So maybe that is his way of showing that he cares, or is that something he would normally do?
They just bought a new house, so they want to have the holidays at their house. So. And he went to culinary school. So
it's going to be good, too.
Yeah. So let him do the cooking. So that's fine with me. I can't get out and shop and stuff anyway, so.
But is this a first and unusual, or a new thing for him to do?
No, they've done it a few times. But he usually leaves everything to the last minute. And so nobody knows what's going on, and I'm a planner. And it's like, I have to know what's going on. It's like, okay, so for Thanksgiving we're going here, and Christmas, don't wait till like the week of, and so, yeah, and I said, did you go ask Grandma and Grandpa, or because if they went last year, they waited till like the week of, and my mom said, sorry, we have plans, which they didn't, but it's just how she is. Yeah.
Is this the son that's a police officer?
Mm-hmm.
So he went to culinary school and then became a police officer?
Mm-hmm. He decided he didn't like, he moved to Napa and worked at Meadowwood, and then he decided he didn't like that business. And so he went to school to be a police officer.
Interesting. It's so different.
So I said, if you were a firefighter, and then, yeah, you could be the cook. Okay, can I stop?
Well, I guess it's time for us to wrap up here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Da, 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 da.
Well, you already have a plan for tomorrow, right?